Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming back, hanging out with RAMO RETRAC. Baddest man on YouTube. I dare you to find another one. Hey, I wanted to drop this on you. Sorry about that. I wanted to drop this on you guys. Most deaf talking. I had caught some about maybe a year or two ago about him having to leave the United States because I think it was taxes. I'm not sure what it was. It wasn't just taxes though. He also felt like he was being like they was doing like the whole Dave Chappelle thing to him. You see what I mean? And I ran across this video and I thought you guys might want to just kind of check out the brother. And anytime I see one of our people getting isolated, I try to shine a little light on them because when they get off by themselves like that, that's when they can be attacked. You see what I mean? And so we want to make sure that we're showing this brother some support, type thing. Go check out some of his videos and let him know that he still got a whole lot of love. Now I think this video here is talking about him coming back to the United States. I'm not sure. I haven't listened to it. I just ran across this and I was like, let me see what he's got going on. So I'm gonna sit back, get on out the way, and let you guys just check it out.
On Hot 97.
Yasin Bey, don't forget to hit my very Yasin important. Bey, I'm gonna put it in the comment section. With us here in the States. He is a world champion on Conor McGregor heavy.
Man, from a competitive point of view, he was completely.
He got you though. He got all of us though.
Listen,
he got us angry.
I watched MMA. I'm a big fight fan. I'm a big boxer fan. My man Tyron Woodley is killing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of cats at MMA. And it's, MMA is having some problems, this whole thing with John Paul Jones recently coming out, but it's some real dudes in the MMA,
Do you think Conor McGregor is being platformed because he's white and a great shit talker, or do you think it's just he's that great?
I think he fits into the UFC's profile. He sells the franchise of UFC. He makes people want to watch. And he basically took the whole thing out of Mayweather's page and just translated it into UFC. So he wanted to get away from UFC. He was building this whole thing that as a from a business point of view, it at least appears to be able to have an option in UFC. White is running UFC. It's like his game. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he is the commission. It ain't no WBA. He's the whole commission. He chooses when you fight, who you fight, how much you get paid. And I feel like Conor McGregor was trying to establish himself in a different way. Big and put it out there. Floyd did the analytics on it. He was like, oh, okay, if you really think you can get it like that, then come on. And he showed, it was just crazy. I mean, for all of that, he talked about his power, punching power, to have access to hit the best defensive fighter in history, who's basically laying on the ropes and saying, give me your best shot, make it interesting. And for all of the people talk about Floyd being weak, listen, Zab Judah showed power against Floyd, Shane Mosley, Alvarez, they all show at some point, even Berto, right? When McGregor could hit him, it didn't even mean nothing.
And he's a 40-year-old man.
And he's 40 years old.
McGregor did hit him with a body shot, but it didn't affect him.
Yeah, he hit him with an uppercut too.
Yeah.
We talked about that though. You remember when the fight was over, Floyd was flawless.
Yeah.
Dude,
Not
like
a
he was
club.
It looked like he was at a photo shoot. Like
McGregor was lumped.
Yeah.
And not only was McGregor, he was exhausted.
He was tired. Well,
he couldn't put his arms up. He dragged him through the fight. He said, okay, what you had has been 5 rounds. I'm going to take you double that. And by the time we get to the 6th and 7th, you're going to be spent. He was spent in the third. Second round, he was like, oh, I'm doing pretty good. The third and fourth was over. So I was disappointed because McGregor talked all of that, a brave heart, I was like, well, where's that? You know what I'm saying?
You've been a business savvy individual for a long time.
Obviously, Floyd was a promoter on this and,
Sure.
and a fighter.
For sure.
Do Floyd, in your perspective, you run with the rich folks. You know what's going on out here. They got a larger business. Floyd will be his boxing promoter while UFC will
For
be.
McGregor?
Yeah.
Hell no. Fuck hell no.
No.
Hell motherfucking no. You me? He got Javante Davis. They got Golovkin running around out here. People want to see that genetic.
Canelo.
They want to see Canelo, Golovkin. Didn't that already happen though?
No, it's next month.
Oh shit! And people want to see Javante. I want to see Javante Golovkin.
And
Well, Javante struggled this
because he was 2 pounds overweight.
he missed weight and he struggled to fight on Saturday.
But he won.
He
won.
And he undefeated though.
And he's young.
And
Let's give it up for Javante. Javante's young, so he's not. He hasn't peaked. This guy's got another 10 years, and he's in the right crew. Let alone, we're not even talking about the other ranks. We're not talking about my man Anthony Joshua, who is murdering him in the heavyweight ranks.
The Joshua Wilder fight.
Oh
heavyweight. That's
my
gonna be
God,
something.
that's
They set that up.
That's
to see.
you know. So I think that Floyd is looking to get into.
I don't think he keeps Conor McGregor as.
Who could kind of fight? Let's say he continues in boxing. Who's he gonna fight in the WBO, WBC, WEBA that's gonna respect him? Even in the lower ranks.
I don't know.
He's 0-0 coming in. Now he's 0-1. Who is he supposed to fight?
I think
He's supposed to fight one of these 50+ Golden Gloves champs. This niggas is gonna knock him out in the gym. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna fight Paulie.
Nah.
Nobody
Well, him and Malignaggi was sparring, and he tried to make it look like he knocked Malignaggi
So he
down.
fight Malignaggi and lose that fight, or beat Malignaggi. So now you 1-1. That's not a career.
I think McGregor's a whole marketing play. It's like
I think McGregor's going
we
to
knew
go
it
back.
was a circus.
It's
From the beginning, we talked about how it was a circus. We all got paid.
Totally.
As soon as McGregor started talking that boy and all of that talk, we
Which
was
is
all
within
in.
that shit.
Before that, everybody was like, yeah, okay, whatever. As soon as he said boy, every black dude I know was like,
what?
oh, now
And
you got to get
then it's
that.
like, how you going to talk all of this
Now you got to get
tough
that.
guy? I'm going to bounce his. Get that Keebler toe out. Shit out of here.
Yo, I was calling this nigga Luck Charms every day.
Yo,
man.
his outfits was goofball. His whole swag was on special needs.
He was doing his workout with his arms was looking like
I
butterflies.
was like, no, you're not the guy. Get out of here. With the fucking faux beaver shaft. Put on a shirt. This is Chippendale's tryouts. I'm not here for
It
this.
was a lot.
It was a lot going on. It
Yo,
was a
so
lot.
Yasin, right? You are back in the United States. We heard much to do about travel issues. Can you are you allowed? Can you articulate what exactly took place?
Yes, I can articulate, but I won't articulate here, not because I don't want to talk about it, but because it's a certain forum that needs to be talked about. Not
so
say
it's
that
this is a real thing, not just like a mix-up. This wasn't like a.
Oh, it's first of all, I did nothing illegal.
Got it.
Let me just be clear about that. What I asserted is not illegal at all. I invite people to research the World Service Authority, the World Passport, its history, its origins, and it's all there. It's a precedent that existed before I was born, right? Many people in the world have legal rights that they are unaware of.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they're not aware of them,
So this is I didn't know it was deep like this. I heard it. I was like, oh, this passport was messed. You know, you hear people passport travel where I thought it was just a light. But what I hear you saying is this a larger humanitarian discussion?
For sure.
Okay, I didn't know.
For sure. And the one thing I will say about it is that the government of South Africa, in their constitution, is it clearly written that no one, that means no one, is excluded, is prohibited from leaving the country. And that's a very important feature of their constitution, given the history of apartheid. You know, if you can make it where in a post-home affairs office and sometimes other municipal bodies make laws that contravene the Constitution, right? Now, I had opportunity to call it, but I was looking to work it out in a peaceful manner with the government, and over the course of a year, right? Now, to be fair, there's worse places to be detained, you know, than Cape Town, South Africa. I got quite a bit of work done there. But the bottom line is that I was no threat, and I feel that I was made or they tried to make me a public example to discourage people from entering South Africa. If I was entering South Africa, that's one thing, but exit is a whole other thing to another African nation with my family. So reason for them to go on like that.
So stop right there, because I've trying to keep up with the changes of globe right now. There's some, and you are a world traveler. You are someone that we've all watched over the decades go from, our beloved MC out of Brooklyn.
Looks like some buffering a little bit. Just 1 second. You know YouTube don't like this kind of stuff here, guys. And this is why I'm doing this. I'm glad you guys get to see, guys are gonna see a lot of this stuff going on. You see what I mean? Like my
To acting,
this hasn't been. Hold on,
so
wait.
platforms that
Many buffering issues all day until I played this video. Straight up, and that's why I'm standing on this. I'm gonna push the information out, and I'm gonna make sure I'm smart enough to get the right information out without getting flagged.
of us just love watching you become who you are. So you travel the world and we watch you and live vicariously through you. The world is changing significantly right now, economically, especially the continent of Africa. Yes?
Yes, all over the world. I mean, America, Europe,
The Middle East.
Middle East, for sure. But it's not all doom and gloom. If you watch the news, the popular media, as as a primary source of information, your worldview might be very fear based. And there's a certain level of fear that the system needs to keep inside of people to keep them participating in a certain type of way. The first response to fear is the cathartic expression of consumerism. So when people get too nervous, they gotta offload it in some way. So that's what the entertainment experience is about. In a lot of instances, the consumerism experience is about. And with that being said, there's a lot of brightness in the world. We in a completely new era. I feel really encouraged from dealing with my youth and the young people. Sure, there's challenges, but there always are. And doom and gloom thing is part of the story, but it ain't the whole story. And there's a lot of good people everywhere all the time putting in a lot of good work. We just don't get an opportunity to get out and see it for us, or to have people see us, outside of the dimensions of a screen. Like you said, when I came, you said, I want to see, I want to feel the vibe. It's different. When we show up and people feel the vibe, they go, oh, and when we feel the vibe, it's different. And we bring something different to us. So, but it's been that way from the door. When Bambaataa was going out to London and all of that, it's been a global thing. New York is a global city. But you can make the mistake of thinking that the world is here, so you don't have to really go nowhere. And New York is so singular. Like there ain't another one of these. You know what I mean? It's like I was saying that the other night. I was like, I was around the way of Brooklyn. I was like, this is not happening in Berlin. This ain't happening in Paris. It's not happening in London. What's happening on this block right now is not going on nowhere, not even in the country. Not in Chicago, not in Detroit, and love and respect to all of those places, Houston, New Orleans, DC, Philly, but what was happening on my street last night, the vibe was like, okay, this is not any place else. But it's good to get to see those contrasts, you know, to see them and feel them, and to bring those experiences back. And you know, at the end of the day, for me, New York, I was born and raised here, so it's like it's always gonna be home. But I take Brooklyn with me wherever I'm at. You know, it's not a geographic thing. It's like it's a state of mind. If you grow up in a place like that, especially the era I grew up in for that long, it's just in you. And for more than me, I want my youth, you know, to get an opportunity to see and experience the world, which gratefully we have been able to. But it's deeper than me. I mean, part of the thing that was so eye-opening for me about my whole situation in South Africa, or at least that situation with Home Affairs, is that I never tried to make it public. They did that. So at a certain point, I just stepped back and say, okay, the creator has another plan for this. And there's something that needs to be addressed here. And perhaps he's using me in this moment to be able to address it. And I've been very light with it, but I do want to send special thanks to Mr. Gallagher Service Authority, and it certainly won't be the last time, God willing, that we address this. I want to address it in the right way, and not in some sort of punitive way, because I had beautiful experience in Africa. I had beautiful experience in Cape Town with the people, with the culture. Much respect to my man, Jason Story from Unknown Union, all of the beautiful designers, all of the creative people out, just the natural environment, my spiritual community is amazing. This is a real gift, an opportunity to see so much of the continent and to see it from a perspective of somebody who grew up in Roosevelt projects. You know, it's like priceless.
Do you you know, and I was talking about the changes of specifically Africa too, because we're watching now. Many countries are about 40 years, 45 years independence, right? Nigeria, and Ghana, and right. We're watching Angola economically go buy up Portugal right
Kenya.
now. Kenya, and South. You know, so you have it's a very, like you said, there's a lot of amazing things happening financially, which is I think prompting a greater world response from Europe, and you know, many political factions that see black countries as very economically secure.
If it wasn't for Africa, this whole internet telecom thing is not popping.
Say why?
Because all of the minerals that are the key components of what we use in modern computing and telecommunications are underneath the feet of some of the blackest people on earth. You know what I'm saying? They're underneath. The people of Africa are walking on top of them on a daily basis. They ain't got it like that here in America. They don't have it like that in China. China's busting another type of move in Africa because they like, yo, we ain't got to bust nobody in the head. We need them resources, you know? And there's issues with that as well. But what I respect about the Chinese is that they don't come in and try to impose their culture, their customs, nothing. They just like, you got that, we got this, what could we do? So it's pure trade, you know what I'm saying? And like, yo, that, you know, you got conflict with your uncle, your cousin, I'm out of it. This is not my business. How we get this trade going. And they be diversified, you know. They're not just in energy, they be in all types of areas. And they come and they live, and they're not trying to make nobody be more Chinese. They like, that's y'all thing. We respect y'all culture. This is our thing. And I can respect that. A lot of the European involvement in Africa has been based on the premise of when we come in, the only way we could be comfortable is if you're more like us, you know, and less like yourselves, or some version of yourself that is acceptable to us. And that's nonsense, especially considering that, you know, I was in Paris a couple of years ago, and one of my homies from London was with me. He was like, man, Paris is nice. I was like, shit, it ought to be all the shit that they done stole.
Yeah.
From, you know. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You go to the pirate's house, of course, this shit is laid out. You know, they got everything that evolved from niggas. It's just sitting around. And I mean that's from food to the power to the gold to the chocolate. You know what I'm saying? You know, all of the chocolate, the
architecture,
everything.
Art.
So yeah, I mean, you know, without Africa, you know, Europe is in the world is in a condition. You know.
Do you think that in your travels are you seeing, you know, because over here we talk about Africa, right, all the time, right? We look at each other, we want to go, we want to.
Oh, don't talk about it. Go, because that's the one thing. You know, especially go anywhere you want to go. Don't let nobody else tell you, but don't read about it in the paper. Go, because what they write down in the paper and what's happening on the ground is two different things. You ain't even gonna get it from my perspective. What you gonna see when you get over there is gonna be different. What you see even when you get to Europe, what you gonna see in Berlin or Madrid or Barcelona or London or Paris or come on, I was in St. Petersburg, Russia. They had graffiti writers and everything. You know what I'm saying? It was a free outdoor show at 7:30 in the evening. People brought their kids, and it was hip hop all day. I was like, okay, that's what the culture can do, you know. But you gotta go see it for yourself. I mean, for those who can and for those who desire to, it's like shit. Go see it. Go spend a week or two. You gotta get that in your wheelhouse, you know. Why not know what Nairobi feel like? They do. You know what I'm saying? They coming from all over Berlin, where they know what Nairobi feel like. Why you don't know what it feel like? They want to see you there.
How does it feel? Because I know my own experience, but talk about you show up as a black man from America and you show up in some of these places. How does that feel?
I'm gonna give you one story. I was in Pretoria.
It's about to be epic.
Got an ad coming through. Just 1 second. Skipping now.
I'm standing in Pretoria on Steve Biko Boulevard. Straight jacket. Like we looked up, we was like, "That's Steve Biko Boulevard," and it was all black people. So I wasn't unique. You know what I'm saying? I was just another black person standing on the street at 12:30 in the afternoon on Steve Biko. There was one white guy standing at the crosswalk, and I looked at him and he looked at me and was like, "Yeah, you know, I'm just dealing with it. I'm the unicorn in the group, but I've been like this, so it's not a problem." Everybody was young, people was swag, and the shit was going on. It was like, let's go. I was like, okay, that happened. I got a snapshot of that psychologically and spiritually. They can't take that from me. The same thing was with Nairobi. The same thing was when I was in Johannesburg or when I went to Addis or being in Morocco. But again, to each his own. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not here to sort of be leading by example, like do this because I'm doing it. I've done this because this is what was in me to do. You know, when I'm standing on top of my project building, like I know there gotta be a way out here. You know, I know that this world is bigger than what they showing me. I just know it. You know, I had people in my generations before me that was making moves like that anyway. You know, so it's just something that just activated in me at a certain point. It was like, okay, I'm gonna move around because this is what it is. But I know there's more to it. But as a, you know, when Europeans go to Europe or people of European ancestry go to Europe, they feel a connection. If you're Asian and you go back to, whether you stay or not, for people of African descent, when they go back to Africa, it's like, what? What it is. Is it perfect? Hell no, but Africa's future is a lot brighter than its past. It ain't going back.
No.
That's for sure. It's not. It's not going backwards. And at the same time, I was in Minneapolis yesterday, and I fucking love Minneapolis. Amazing city, you know. And shout and respect to Prince because, like, post his death, it's like that city is like a tribute to his vision of America. You know what I'm saying? And when I was in Minneapolis, I was like, this is America working, right? This is that concept of all of these different types of people from different types of cultures and backgrounds here together, working it out, being cool, dealing with shit. You know, you got Philando, that happened out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got the knuckleheads everywhere. But for the most part, for the better part, you saw it was like, this is America. That guy's black. That they from East Africa. These people is Asian. These are some Vikings people over here, and we all here on a Monday morning working it out. You know, and it's cool. Like, we can deal with this. I was like, great. There's cities in America that are what America is supposed to be, and whether I'm here or not, I want to see America win. You know. But that's up to America. That's not just a wishful thinking type of thing. I know I'll put in my hand to do the best that I can. I represent my city, which is definitely a part of here. I'm definitely a native, a true Native American. You know, paternal and maternal sides is Cherokee. So yeah, for like America for real. But that's up to America. And the way America to get it together.
What does it feel like out there when you on the outside looking in and you seeing this Donald Trump and you seeing
niggas
what does
is
it look
looking
like?
at this shit like the fucking, like the, you know, like the thing. It's like the horror movie at the drive-in, you know what I'm saying? This shit is just looking crazy. Like the Europeans is like, what the is he doing? This is confusing. They never seen America like this.
Never.
Never. They don't know what they're like, whoa. Like, what's happening? You know? And they got their own shit. They got their racism.
Yeah,
they got their border
we
issues.
supposed to be.
Yeah.
We supposed.
They like, what the fuck is this? Like, your man is wilding. He don't even look official in the agency. You know what I'm saying? He looked like he stumbled into the gig. You know what I'm saying? So they can't deal with that. They don't know, because in those other countries across the world, there's at least some respect for the agency or the office. And politics aside, it is an agency. It deserves a certain type of carriage. You know what I'm saying? You talking about a person in the world who can speak and everybody got to listen. That's extraordinary currency to have in the world, you know. You got to carry that with a certain type of way. It's Queen of England, it's the Pope, and it's the President of the United States of America. Like, you know, the Pope ain't out here sloppy with it. You may not agree with all this shit, you know what I'm saying? But he's respecting the agency. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Queen of England is not out here like loose. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. We become a joke.
Yeah, this dude is like
Become a joke.
loose. You know what I'm saying? It's like your mom used to be like, yo, put some clothes on for you answer the door. He's answering the door, your jaws, and you see Mel hold like no, like you represent this house when you open the door. He not doing that. And it is what it is. I mean, his name is said 1,000 times in the media anyway, every day. But yeah, across the waters, people just like, what the fuck is this? Build a wall, and it's goofball shit.
And then you have the other
TV
countries
show.
saying, fuck no. Literally saying,
Yeah.
fuck no,
Yo,
we're not building a wall.
Macron,
I was like,
Macron, the president of Paris, in English, got on national television and basically made an invite to Americans who are entrepreneurs
That's right, yeah.
and business people and thinkers, like, and he made sure he was speaking his best English. Dear Americans. I was like, what this nigga speaking? He told us.
He's addressing. He's really talking.
He's like, yo, it's basically like, you know, a dude see a woman going through some changes with her man. And it's like, yo, Sharice, you can do better. Whenever you're ready, here's my car. I'm gonna leave it at that. Not supposed to be able to roll up or,
Nah.
hey,
Terrible.
I see how your man is treating you. I don't think it's right. You're interested in a brighter future. Come stay by my place in Harmless. No expectations. I'm here for you. I was like, what? It's 70 million people in all of France. You got 300 million people here. When a head of state can say that openly,
it's a circus out here. It's a circus.
It's a circus.
It's a nightmare.
It's a circus. This is not the, come on, man. This is not the America that in 100 years built everything from the radio to the automobile, come on. Yo, for the last 100 years, the rest of the world been looking at America like, what are they drinking over there? Right?
Because the world's best came here.
Yeah. We used to make shit. We made Cadillacs. Come on, man. We made Levi's. In the midst of all of the, transatlantic slave trade and the dirty money, everything, people were still being innovators, leaders at the top of their game in culture, industry, fashion, everything. What happened to that?
Well, it feels like, for me, Trump's fucking up the marketing plan. Completely.
For America.
Right, because America's a giant marketing plan, right? Where they say to the world, look, you come here, be whatever you want. Yeah. Bring your smart. Well, they had a slogan, right? You're bright. It's just smart. It's just everybody get over here. Yeah. Biz popping. Now, he's like setting the tone for an America that's like forgot that everyone came from everywhere else to make this shit pop.
To follow their dreams.
And that the people who came here involuntarily, have not been really included in the process.
Well, then there's that. Yes.
And that's a big deal. Because it's like, until you get it right with us, what can you expect to get right? How you going to try to get it right with the rest of the world? You're not getting it right with home team. What could you say to me? My grandmother lived in Brooklyn for 75 years. And that's my grandmother. We ain't talking about my great-grandfather who was so, what's up? What's in it for them? But you're supposed to just sit by and let everybody just reap the benefits of everything that we do, and we get like a small pat on the back of, well, you got all this crazy shit going on. And a lot of this, I ain't gonna just put it all off on Trump. A lot of this shit was going on for years.
Obama was happening. It was happening under George Bush too. It's been here. But the tone, the problem is, and the reason it falls on his lap, is because he's not stepping up to the plate at a time when you're supposed to be like, he's exacerbating the issue.
He's making an issue, but it don't matter because as far as I can see, it's just he's a media play. Yeah. He keep the people clicked in, logged in. He keep the dialogue going in a circle, and it ain't really going nowhere. So much bigger than him. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's about the youth. It's about real art. It's anybody could be entertaining, especially nowadays. I mean, shit, catch me outside. It's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? But it's about something else. And Chappelle said it best. He said Trump will save America by accident. But I add to that, like, people gotta say themselves, man. It's like, what do you value? What's a real priority to you? What I do notice about Europe is that I think the thing where Europe wins is that focus is not being rich. So less focus on money and more quality of life. Now, people name money. Money is important. I ain't going to out here act like, the Europeans have a laissez-faire attitude toward money. It's not at the center of their life. It's a means for them to be able to enjoy their life and primarily the time with their family and friends. That's a big part of what you see outside of America is that people want to make money, but they're more concerned with doing things that they care about and spending time with people that they care about and enjoying life. And when you get here, it's just like everybody on the chase. You can feel it. It's like, you got to get that, and it's energizing to a certain degree, because I take that energy with me out when I'm like in other places. Like, okay, let's get it popping. You know what I'm saying? They're like, okay, first we're going to have lunch.
Then we're going to have tea.
Right.
You can take a little siesta, a little recharge your battery.
Take a nap.
We will get it popping. Just a couple human issues to take care of, but we appreciate your energy and your ideas.
You've been enjoying life though, right? Like you slow down every
day.
But I know you still create, you still record. I hear the rumors, like you still cooking. But you definitely taken you're not chasing no record deals. You ain't chasing that world. You stepped out of that world a long time ago. What we was talking before you got here about the HBO movie you did.
Oh, right.
What was the title?
Something the Lord, man.
Which was, I mean, you crushed it as an actor, right? I mean, you have crushed it several times as an actor. How come that we haven't seen more of that?
Okay, this is the deal. For me, if I'm gonna do a film, particularly a film or anything acting, you understand, like it take 100 people to make a terrible movie. Take at least 100 people to make a movie that like you don't want your mama to see. It's a lot of time. It's labor intensive, and I'm like, if I'm gonna spend that type of time with that many people, there's got to be more in it than just the money or the prestige for me, because you can say whatever you want. That's how you're going to be spending your time. You're going to be showing up at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. You could be working in 10, 12-hour days. You can't phone that shit in. You're going to be there, right? You get to stand and set up the shot, but when it comes time to deliver, it's on you. So if the story is not motivating me, if I'm not going to be working with people who I respect, it's just a waste of time. Because at the end of the day, even if it is a big bag of money at the end, what people don't realize is that when you spend your time in a way that you really don't respect, and even if you get money out of it, you fuck up that money. You don't really respect that money, because you feel the urge and the impulse to reward yourself and get some pleasure. At least you're like, I had to do this bullshit to get this bag, so now I'm gonna go have fun with this bag. You know, you don't really,
very good point.
You know what I'm saying? You don't really treat the bag with respect, and you don't have a good time. You know what I'm saying? And even for me, if the project is a good aim and it doesn't achieve it, then at least you was trying to do something. Was it fuck? We gave it a shot. You know what I'm saying? But if it's just bullshit from the door, then it's just bullshit from the door. And it's gonna be the bullshit that you can see, and then the bullshit behind the blind curve that this is
bullshit on top of bullshit.
Right, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, hard enough as it is, even when you're doing something that's good that you like, you can't phone it in. You can't just, that's not. You can't just show up and be like, I got this. You gotta really focus.
And how come the music though? When do we get that music?
Look at the game, man. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like what's happening out here? Like, why people can ask that question to Andre 3000. What is happening in the industry where some of the best and the greatest, right, are just been like silent? I mean, OGs, I'm not talking about the cats born in the 80s, because they supposed to be running right now. You're supposed to be hearing a bunch of records from Kendrick and Drake. Yeah, what else they got to do? No disrespect, but like this is what they doing. When 3 Stacks was 30 years old, he was out here bubbling too. Like you let him get a couple of C's and so other. What is it going? No, you're not gonna be out here running like that. Even Jay, he laid back for 3-4 years, got to a whole other thing before this 444 came out. So why is it that all of these cats is like, what's up with the structure around our culture, which is unique to any other thing that's happening in the world before or since it? Why are we not hearing these voices? Why people don't want to engage the industries like that? It's a very good question. And I think people know the answer. But naturally, anybody with some sense, I don't want to go deal with that and bring that home to my family or bring that home to myself. I don't want my mom to have to, inherit the fucking PTSD from, running around in the rap game and the beefs. You see people, can't get along for longer than 20 minutes. Everybody getting big bags of money, but You ain't this, you ain't this, you ain't shit. Fucking allowing each other out on Instagram, driving, talking about I'm gonna knock your teeth. What kind of shit is this? When it was really dangerous in the city in the 90s, where it's like when niggas was really all going out to the same places and you could legit see somebody on the app, none of that was happening. I was on the radio talking about nothing. If somebody want to make it pop, you know where you at. It's like a lot of
noise.
Crazy noise, but it's dangerous because now people's egos is evolved because they did it on camera for the Instagram generation. So now people got a point to prove because they're all on TV all the time. None of it is real. Until some real shit happens. Somebody get really hurt over some bullshit while everybody get money. Able to live, travel, be like at the top of the dial. You go fucking do anything, anywhere, right? It's not unusual if somebody was in Dubai. People are like, oh yeah, that's just what that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Why y'all not doing that? And why when y'all doing that, it's all on the gram? Why you telling people? We used to go places, just go. If we didn't tell nobody where we was at, nobody knew where we was at.
Are you happy for hip hop right now? Like what you see?
I love the culture, but what it looks like is that the technical process around it is surrounded it so that the only people who really benefit off of the culture are the algorithms. Right? The platforms. Not the
because everybody's giving their stuff away. SoundCloud, IG, Facebook. You're just giving it. Because as soon as you put your photo up, Facebook put advertising against your behavior and they get cake.
I'm not with that. Because to quote Jay-Z, he said, how long it took you to make Reasonable Doubt? He said, my whole life. That's real talk. He had to live his whole life.
It's 26.
He had to live his whole life, all them experiences to make that record. Why would I give you my whole life for nothing? Not even the bag. I'm not even getting the bag. You get the bag, and then I get the drama, the stress, what is that about? There's more than one way to skin that cat. And people are not on those platforms because of the platforms. They're on those platforms because of what's on those platforms. So the technical process is taking precedence over the content. And people have modified the content to suit the technical process. And how are people even supposed to focus on your shit if it's 1,011,000 niggas? They got new shit out every day. I can't listen to all these. I got shit to do. I have things to do. It's not a fucking game. My life is not a joke. The more you become an adult, you realize I'm a fucking adult. I'm not sitting here, not listening to all of these niggas. Why? I could just listen to already made niggas. This shit just get better with time. Right? And if some new niggas come through this, like my man JID from Dreamville, fire. Like, give me that. But don't hit me with the, I'm sorry.
There's some great, Event Staples, JID,
right.
Chance. There's some cream. There's some things that are.
But even in the course of a day, for the artists that I do like, how much time, if I'm trying to develop myself as a useful human being, do I have to sit and be entertained? And if I'm gonna just be sitting there opening myself up to be listening to some shit, what is it doing for me?
Exactly.
What did I learn at the end of this? So, like, what beauty was expressed, skill, the technical efficiency, and any of that shit. It's like, I be clowning on my young people with their listening selection sometimes so hard. But I understand because it's of their generation. But I be telling, like, yo, put some critical thought to what the fuck is being communicated here. What is this young nigga talking about?
But you are also somebody who, as an artist, even, right? Like, we've known each other for a long time, and there are individuals, and even in hip hop, when the 90s came, when that 93, 4, 5, 6 zone landed, right? And money was falling out the sky for hip hop, right?
Right.
There was those of us that did not chase that glitz and glam, right? There were those of us in hip hop, many of us that even then made fun of that music.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
where Shiny Soup Man and all of that jokes came from.
Come on, EPMD with crossover. That was like, it was like, you know, you don't do that. It wasn't necessary to do. And EPMD was going to go with every album. You know what I'm saying? Run DMC became a crossover group after they was already giants on the block. So we didn't have to do that. Did Drake really have to sign a deal with Cash Money, with Young Money? He had songs on the radio that was charting without a deal. I went to see Kendrick at the Music Box Theater in LA in 2011. It was sold out. Sold out off of Section 8. Everybody in it knew every single word. This was 6 years ago. If he did 2 or 3 years of that, come on, E40 did the same. Luke and them did the same.
Too Short.
Souls of Mischief, Hieroglyphics.
Yeah. That was the whole deal. Hieroglyphics is $1 million business off of merch today.
Yes.
Just off of the Bay Area. So the bag was already there. Right? Like, I think it wasn't even about the money. It was just about a certain type of prestige and perception in pop culture and media. Because by the time that the mainstream, quote unquote, mainstream culture caught up with hip hop, it was 10 years late.
I think TDE's deal is a little independent. Like, they just,
for sure,
yeah,
finessing. Because essentially, I think most artists are just finessing that financial structure. It's almost like a deal with a bad bank that you know you get a bad deal. Let me go ahead and tap them resources without having to give up too much.
But some artists carve things out of the deal, even going into the deal, because they know, like, the whole TDE thing, what they did with the merch was incredible. They're like, we're not wearing nothing. Anybody in the crew you seen just wearing TDE for at least the first 3 years.
And they own all that, and they own all the tour.
Totally. So,
but I mean, I'm not mad at nobody. People got to do whatever they feel is best. But the culture has been strong on its own from day one. You know, that's from, you know, Newsweek covering breakdancing in '84. It was always the deal. I'm happy for certain. And you got to understand, when you say 93, 94, 95, let's take it to Nas was 16 years old when he wrote Illmatic. Okay? He was 16. He was 17, 18 when he came out. So all of this, like, oh, they just young. Yeah, so was Nas. He wrote Illmatic. You know, everybody in Native Tongue was under 25. The whole thing was young. We still young. I mean, I'm 44. That's not old. You know, I'm just older than y'all niggas, but I'm not old. And what you talking about? So to me, it's a matter of what do you value? What's the end game? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it that you really, making money is such a foregone conclusion. Nobody wake up and like, yo, how we gonna lose money today? Everybody come to get the bag because it just is what it is. We live in a world where you need to show love and service, and take care of your life. You gotta make money. But you know, every dollar ain't a good dollar. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of, what does it take to see a Mos Def on tour, a Black Star tour?
Man, listen, I could show you better than I could tell you.
Okay, I like that answer.
The music speaks better. Then I don't like to get in the way of it. I was never big on being like a celebrity because that just confuses the issue. I do have a public profile, but I also recognize and never forget that the reason I have a public profile is the work. So that's what I put out front. All of the other shit, like, you know, the here and there and the movements, that's cool. But the only reason that we up here talking is because I do this and I get busy as an artist. And that should be at the center of it. All of the other hair salon, barbershop shit is for there. But when it's for here, it's like, okay, this is the work, this is the perspective, and this is my perspective on what I've been doing. And everything else is kind of like, you know, I can't talk about nobody personally because I don't know them cats. I know them based on their public profile, and if I'm going to critique anything, it's going to be solely that. Partly because I recognize it in the media with us. You have to remember that in this culture, it's predominated by young black men born between 1967 in 1994, right? Almost 90%, if not more. If we don't agree, there's a way that we should disagree. But we shouldn't be disagreeing open air, turning this shit into some WWF type of shit. Because one, that's just not sexy. And two, real dangerous shit can happen. And we got youths. Even if we don't have kids, we have younger people watching us, right? The fifth grade is listening. For real, they tuned in. And they're like, oh, that's how you're supposed to get down. That's how I'm going to get down. And if we don't show them a good way, they're going to run amok with us. They're going to be pushing our wheelchairs into the fucking river because we didn't teach them how to be G's and how to really conduct themselves. So when we need them, which we will, to do things for us, to help us, to give us counsel on how to move forward, they're going to run amok with us. It ain't going to be nobody but our fault. So when dudes come out here flexing and showing tough, remember the youth is watching. That don't mean you got to be a saint, right? But just be mindful. Like, hold that down. Because these young ones are strong too. They stronger than us in a lot of ways. What?
They're about to be physically stronger
What?
in a minute, 2 seconds.
So you better relax. You know what I'm saying? I tell my older youths all the time, like, don't take your advantage. Don't take advantage of your advantage over these younger ones. Because how you treat them when they get an opportunity, that's what they're going to do to you. And you're not going to like it. And it's not going to be shit that you're going to do about it because they're going to be better at it. They're going to be smarter about it. You're going to be a little behind the beat. They're going to be right on top of the beat. And you're going to be calling me like, Dad. I'm like, I told you to stop. You taught them this. You're wrong and you're wrong. Both of y'all are wrong. But you're really wrong because they wasn't on it like that before. You put them on to that. And once you put them on to that, they're like, it's hard to get them off. Because they like, the shit was working for you. Now it's really working for me.
How proud and exciting. I mean, I know me personally, somebody like a Colin Kaepernick, watching him
Right.
create this conversation and use his platform, whether people like it or not, and him standing. How does Yassine Bey, when you saw that moment in football start to unfold and where we are today with? You following that?
I follow it a little bit. I gotta have respect for anybody that stands behind their convictions and is willing to make a sacrifice. And it's just like, it is what it is. You know, people have to remember, man, when people get all precious about the anthem, okay, great. The anthem is a song. It's a song. And if it's a song that don't represent, if what's happening is not representing that, if somebody says, until what's happening on the ground represents that, that's their First Amendment right. And I respect him for showing respect to those families, like Tamir Rice, like Philando Castile, like the young brother Kendrick in Augusta, Georgia, or Mike Brown or other people. Why not? If his skill level is unacceptable, that's one thing, but you're saying on his political beliefs, what, like it's not racist playing actively in the NFL right now? Or bigots, they got on uniforms? I'm sure it's a couple of Nazis with their cleats on game day, but ain't nobody detector over their philosophies when it comes time for that's their business. They put their cleats on and perform. This man took a stance based on police brutality, which is illegal, is happening in broad day. So what's the issue? Shouldn't be no issue, but they making it an issue. So let them continue to make it an issue.
Do you like the
Got a little ad coming through. I am fast forwarding it now.
Continue to make it an issue.
Do you like the I do. You like the Confederate flags coming down? You like the monuments coming down? You like
you know, that's all well and good, but I like to see them take some of this money, dish around, and do something for the elderly, for the young, for the environment, for real. Um, all of these things are symbolic. That's cool. The flags and the statues could come down, but will the behavior change? Will people's customs change? Will how they treat somebody who's not like them change? You could do all of the things with the some things. That's cool. Okay, keep going. Right? Keep going. You took the statue down. Now take the hate down in yourself. Take it out. Because it ain't working. The people who are on that vibe, they don't have the answers for the solutions, all the solutions that we need to move forward. So yeah, you take the statues down, but you gotta make some other alterations as well.
Yeah, and I just think for the greater conversation, the moment we start recognizing, taking symbols down is recognizing that your past is problematic to your future.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. I mean, and these dudes is like, shit. I mean, do you give criminals monuments? Do we need the monument to mark that time in history? It's well documented, their achievements, their sins, all of that is, why we got to pass by here and, like have this, moment of pause and reverence.
Because that's the nasty.
Celebrated though.
That's the nastiest part. The nastiest part is that shit was put up.
Yep.
On some, fuck that. Yeah, we did that. Fuck you. Like, think about that. The concept that a flag of the loser.
Oh, yeah.
You're propping that up to
you
say.
You fucking lost. Like Conor McGregor.
Go back to Conor.
Full circle, right? It's symbolic.
Right. With your powerful left hand. His left hand is so powerful as to hold it with his right hand. His left hand cannot be unattended without a fine. His right hand with his left hand. For just being out here reckless. Yeah, of course. It lost, and it didn't do nothing. It didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? It didn't, it wasted a lot of lives. It cost a lot of people a lot of money. It pitted brother against brother. It tore the country in half. It was never the wave. That holding on to it is something like, but that's the South. They on their thing. They got to get that shit together. Like, okay, cool. Let's see how that works out for you. Because while y'all arguing over that, China has got its mind on something else. Germany got its mind on something else. Africa got their mind on some other shit. Y'all over here playing, flag games. It's like, okay, good luck with that.
Brazil moving on.
Like, good luck with that. But we got other issues. The fucking flags and symbols. Y'all still on that shit. Gang sign, politics. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Over here claiming sets. And everybody broke. The food ain't even real food. We got issues. Shit to be thinking about.
You talked about water and food.
Fuck yeah. The kids got to eat to live. You got to eat to live. That you supposed to be feeding your kids. Monsanto got all this land. I'm concerned about that. Fuck the whatever. You nigga, make a suit out of it. Rock out. You know what I'm saying? That's what you want to do on a Friday night. Go for it. What's up with what's coming out the earth? What's up with what's in the air? What is coming into our bodies through this technology? How is it changing our brains? How we process information? How we deal with each other? Y'all over there still talking about 18, whatever. That's my G. That's we over that. We got other issues now. If y'all still over there trying to, recapture the halcyon days, or a type that you're not on to the top no more, but then you should have dealt with it, because leadership is about getting people to join with you, not just getting niggas to fall behind you, and that's a service position. So if America want the leadership position in the world, we got to do some things where people really benefit, right? And not just you benefit because you benefit, That's a leadership position. It's a service position. So they all in mourning them days. Well, then, you shouldn't have been sending all of this work out of the country for other people to do because you was too jiggy to do it. You know, oh, I'm at let the Chinese make all my clothes while I'm, you know, having more shrimp. Okay, well now they make everybody fucking clothes. It's what happens, right? When niggas get lazy, start chilling, and somebody else do the work. You look back and be like, nah, this nigga's your boss.
Happens all the time.
That happens.
You didn't want to do the work. You want to put in the grind.
You know, you go to the museum and see the civilizations that used to be. Right? They was popping, oh, the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Egyptians. They museum exhibits now. And it's not popping like that for them no more. It can happen it happens all the time. So let them play them games, man. Like, okay, yeah, you know, fine. Is that gonna produce the solutions? No. So what are you really doing? Just over here arguing and mad that the person, the systems that really causing you problems, you're not addressing them. It's internalized hatred. People are mad at what the banks and this one and that one is doing. That these people waste all this money, screw people over, cheat, lie, steal in broad daylight. But you don't really feel courage to do something against them. So you turn it on your neighbor. You turn it on yourself. Everybody else is the problem except you. That's the hype. And that's not how you win. Winners look at themselves and say, what am I doing? Like, what part do I play in this shit? How can I be only honest about my positives and negatives and move forward? All of this other, like, the finger of blame shit, like, what's supposed to happen? Okay, we kill Al Qaeda. We kill all them niggas. We run up in their crib, we cut their heads off, we kill Al Qaeda, right? All of the jobs come back to America. All of the Mexicans get out. All no Muslims can't come here no more. Right. Problem solved. No. Because Al Qaeda ain't take the money out to schools. Did they? They ain't fuck up my projects. So who gonna fix that? Osama bin Laden ain't come over here and do shit to my projects. That shit was already done before y'all niggas was saying his name. So yeah, you solve that problem. Do it make the projects go away? No, it don't. So stop with the hype. You started the problem. You should fix it. Stop blaming it on everybody else. Because this is some shit that you started. And now only you can fix it. Stop projecting the blame out on everybody. It's the Chinese jobs. You gave them jobs. You called them and knocked on their door and said, "Would you do all of this work that I don't want to do for cheap?" And they said, "Bet." And they did that shit for 50 years. And now you're crying. Stop crying. You did that.
Most Def. Give it up, man. Time, man.
Hey, that was a good interview. Good interview. Thanks a lot for coming back. You guys can keep, as like I said, my channel is going in a different direction. I wouldn't call it an entertainment channel anymore. But I still left all my videos up. So if you click on the video button, you can see all the stuff that I've done. I got some hilarious stuff up. And like I said, I'm just moving to a different level with YouTube. I feel like if I put up a video like this and I get one person to watch it, right? My voice is 10,000 times bigger than me putting up a silly video or a funny video or something like that. And I have 100 or 200 people come over. It just, you know what I mean? So, you know, that's kind of where I'm going with it. I'm going to do another one tonight if you guys want to come back. I'm going to do some spiritual stuff tonight. It'll be about non-duality. For you guys that don't know what that's about, it'll give you some insight. It may clear up some confusion that you have about your life and where you stand in the universe. So anyway, I'm out of here. I will catch you guys on the Black Hand side. I'm RAMO RETRAC, the baddest man on YouTube.